All I said back in the day was, why are we more concerned with supporting and funding migrants who come here, even if it's to seek asylum, over our veterans, specifically, our own people who have served this country were not getting care they needed.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Wow.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
That's all you need to. That's all you need to hear. I mean, at what point when hearing that does somebody go, "Oh man, why are we doing this to these great people?" At what point? Tell me what you think. He's restored single-sex jails and prisons. Essentially, the bottom line is that it's mostly trans women. That's right. Men who want to be women, think they're women, who are in the women's prisons. These guys still have penises, okay? And those penises are raping the biological women in these prisons and knocking them up, impregnating a lot of them. And all of a sudden they're prisoners and they're in this prison and they're all these pregnant women. Welcome to Stay in the Gray podcast. We explore news that gets people talking by blending comedy and controversy.
Banner, fearless word, shadow screams unheard.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Trey. Together we dive into tough topics with a combination of humor and some insight.
So join us as we navigate the gray areas of the world and engaging in real conversation.
Come get to know us.
What's up, guys? Feels like it's been a while, but I guess it really hasn't. So I hope everybody's well. It is January the 27th. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be. Let's get going. I'm going to jump right in. Tell you what, it's been 7 days since Trump was inaugurated. A week ago. I'm all off on my days. Perhaps it's because some of the articles I read were from a couple days ago. But Donald Trump is already getting shit done. It may not be the shit that you wanted to be done, or maybe you're finding stuff that you don't like or are pretending not to like because you're anti-Donald Trump. But let me tell you some of the stuff he's doing. The biggest thing he's done so far is he's shown everybody that he's not going to put up with any bullshit. He has started deportations of illegal criminal immigrants. Now, in my opinion, if you're here illegally, you're already a criminal, technically. But I'm talking about criminal behavior beyond that. He's taking them and he's going to take them right back to their home countries. The country of Colombia, however, they decided that they were going to turn that plane right around and not allow it to land in Colombia. It was a military plane. I think there were a couple of them, actually. And the president, Gustavo Petro, he barred 2 planes. He said, nope, get back. And upon returning to the United States, Donald Trump heard of it. The president said, what? The president of Colombia said the following: the U.S. cannot treat Colombian migrants like criminals. But they are criminals, and they're in our country being criminals. We can most definitely treat them like criminals. To me, it should be even worse, just because they're, restrained in a military plane. Anyway, so Trump said immediately, he goes, boom, 25% tariffs on all Colombian goods coming to the United States. It will be raised to 50% if this goes on longer than 1 week. Travel ban and revoked visas for all of the Colombian government officials and all of the supporters and allies of Colombia, of those people. And he said these are just the beginning, so don't test me. First off, before we go any further, that's something that we haven't seen in this country in a while. Why would we cater to the Colombian president? Here are your illegal people. Take them back. Do with them what you will, but they are not supposed to be here. And they're committing crimes. Deal with it. And as soon as he gets turned away on that, he's letting people know, no. Daddy's in town. He's back. And you know, of course, everybody makes snide statements. He is a Starbucks employee coming on here, one of these woke guys probably up on the West Coast. He does a commercial like the price of coffee is going to be $947 because Colombian beans. No, you're a dumbass. How about AOC? Well, remember, we're the ones that'll pay the tariffs, not Colombia. Well, that's just false as well. AOC, how this woman is in any position of power is beyond me. New York, get your shit together. She's not doing anything. She's just cackling away. And that's why it makes me all the happier that almost immediately, I think it took an hour, the president of Colombia said, okay, we're going to send our own plane and come get these guys. So suck at AOC and suck at Starbucks employee and all the other people who are making fun of this. What is there to make fun of? You're defending illegal Colombian immigrants. Why? Why is this not a good thing? Why are you not like, hell yeah, Donald Trump, you tell him. It's beyond me. And it's only because you've been indoctrinated to hate the guy and now that you can't admit that he's doing anything right. So I wanted to let you know that. So Donald, his first global threat, if you will, and I wouldn't even call it a threat, I would call it an ultimatum. Either take your criminals back or guess what? You're going to get tariffs. And all these people saying we're going to pay them, you're clueless. These countries have to have the United States buying their goods. They have to. This is proof. Do you think this guy wanted to have his tail between his legs and go back and say, all right, we'll do what you say, Donald? And apparently there's a meeting of all these South American, Central American, like-minded leaders, if you will. And they're all kind of trying to figure out how they're going to handle President Trump. And of course, some of them said they'd come up and speak in Washington. And I'd like to hear these conversations because it seems pretty simple. This is not an irrational request by our president. Take your criminals back. They belong to your country legally. So we'll move on from that. Donald, getting rolling. I'm going to play this video. Speaking of illegal immigrants and Donald Trump and all these things, I'm going to play a video for you, and I want you to check it out. I'll do, not all of it, but some of it. And yes, it's Fox News, and it's because Fox News did the story on this particular individual. And I'm not sure when the boys will put it up, but if you're seeing it, or you will see it, it's this Haitian gentleman who's here illegally, who's committed crimes. He has all sorts of, assault and all kinds of stuff. This is not a good dude. And he's here in our country illegally. Guess what? He's rounded back. He's not liking it. He's rounded back. So without further ado, let me play this guy for you and see what you think.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this
Not going back
illegal
to Haiti.
alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions
17.
in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Wow.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking.
I'll stop it there. That's all you need to. That's all you need to hear. At what point when hearing that does somebody go, "Oh man, why are we doing this to these great people?" At what point? It makes no sense. Donald Trump is cleaning up the streets, quite literally, of the garbage, of the criminals. Yes, people, we have criminals in the United States. We have citizens that do bad things. Why add to it? We need to deal with our own people, our own criminals. So proud. But we have to deal with that first. And then, last thing we need is to deal with other people. So what I don't understand is, well, I do understand it, but I'm pretending for the sake of pretending that I don't for you people. Why is he mad at Donald Trump? He's the one that committed crimes. He's the one that's there illegally. More importantly for this is, why is he thanking? He's thanking Joe Biden, and he's thanking Barack Obama. And I get this is a crazy dude and he's a criminal. He's going to say whatever. He's going to thank whoever on a whim. But this says something to me. He feels as an illegal immigrant who's committed other crimes of the violent kind as well. 17 additional charges. Who knows what else he's done? For him to sit here and feel like he can say thank you to two former presidents who have gotten a bad rap for the border and not caring about this issue, says something. I don't understand how people can't look at this and go, man, this isn't good. I might not like Donald, but the press is getting it done. And this is a good thing for our neighborhoods, for our streets, and for our cities and states. It's just, I don't know how you can argue this. When you get into the children and the families, okay, fine, I'll have a discussion with you. But this is the let's take the top off here before we get to the rest of the cake. Let's get that icing off of there, because it's obvious. I mean, these are the people that just know there's no debate. And the fact that we're already debating it is just, heaven forbid we get down to the tricky ones. So I think it's telling. I just don't understand how people can defend illegal criminals, especially when I say things like, we need to focus on our own. I lost a friend, a really close friend, not to death, to being blocked on social media. It was like death. A while ago, I grew up with this guy essentially. And all I said back in the day was, why are we more concerned with supporting and funding migrants who come here, even if it's to seek asylum, over our veterans, quote unquote, over veterans specifically, our own people who have served this country were not getting care they needed and needed financial help. But we were sitting here more concerned with the migrants. And this gentleman decided to tell me he couldn't believe that he ever knew me, whatever. And he blocked me, and that was it. Because I was defending our own citizens over illegal migrants coming here seeking asylum. That's fine. As long as you take care of ours, yes, let's help people. I like to help people, believe it or not. A lot of you like to frame people like me who call us out when we say things like this, and you frame it like we don't care. We're not compassionate people, and that's bullshit. I care about people, but there's an order of operations, and like I said on another show, it's myself and my family, my neighbors, my city, my state, my country, and the world. And you got to prioritize. You can't. I mean, the fact that all of our money has been going to other people besides this country is just. I can't say it enough. I've said it tons, and I really want to move past politics, but these things keep happening. And as our country shifts into what I think is the right direction again, thank goodness, we've got to talk about these things. I can't sit here and say I want to talk about all of these things leading up to an election, or trying to battle and debate all the way up until they start to change and then bail. I've got to stick it out to a point. I'm trying to get away from it a little bit, but I've got to stick it out and continue to talk to people. And if it doesn't help, and if people don't want to talk and they just want to yell at me and call me names, that's fine. I'll try my best to say thanks and like and subscribe, and then I'll move on from you. But if you want to talk and you want to try and get in and understand my side of things, or have me understand yours, then I'm willing to talk. But I'm not going to bail on this. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to tell you all these things for the last 6 to 8 months. Be as passionate, get in some disagreements with my co-host Trey, who's just flabbergasted at the passion on all sides. He doesn't get it. We're passionate about football, and now all of a sudden, this is just people spitting at each other. And I think that he kind of stayed out of politics for a long time because of that. And then now it's just the worst it's ever been. And instead of running from it on my end, I've decided to kind of face it head on. And I was going to talk about this in a minute, so I'll get back to that. But it's just, again, it's something that I felt like I needed to play you. You've probably seen that clip. It's been spread around, but it says so much. So let's move on. Lastly, with talking about what Trump's been doing, it's an interesting one. Tell me what you think. He's restored single-sex jails and prisons. Essentially, the bottom line is that it's mostly trans women. I think that's right. Men who want to be women or think they're a woman who are in the women's prisons. Okay. These guys still have penises. Okay. And those penises are raping the biological women in these prisons and knocking them up, impregnating a lot of them. And all of a sudden they're prisoners and they're in this prison and they're all these pregnant women, which of course it takes more doctors and money and this and that. And poor children, poor babies. And so why is it bad to have single sex, or, jails, same-sex jails? This need to please not only the 0.6% of the population, but the criminal part of it, of that 0.6. Again, I'll say it, it's beyond me. I don't get it. What about the women who are in those, the majority of the women that are in those prisons, their safety? You get all these LGBTQ attorneys who are sitting there defending these trans women, saying, what about them? What about they're about to go back to the man prison. They're gonna get raped. They're gonna get all this. So it's okay for the majority of these women to be raped and in a situation that puts them at danger. But these men, even though they think they're women, and what about the people that just say they're that would be the easiest thing. I get arrested, I'm going away, I'd be like, well, I identify as a woman. I'd like to go to the women's prison, please. And you've got to do it? Give me a break. I mean, to me, it's a smart move. And anybody can just say they identify as a woman. People, this need to please everybody and not offend somebody is gone way past the line. The line is a dot. I'll quote friends. Okay, so there's 1,500 trans women. I have to take deep breaths, you guys. 1,500 trans women total. That's not a lot. However, it's around 15% of trans women make up the jails of women. And that's a decent number. Whereas 1% of trans men are in the male prison. And this is my point. I'm pretty sure the numbers are skewed like that because of either men that are lying about it just to get into the women's prison, or it's, again, the women that want to be men probably do want to be with the men. I don't know. I'm not in the mindset of these people. But again, I wrote this down. I might as well tell you. There are advocates that are for this, that are saying that are happy that Trump did this. And this is where I come in. Not only is because it's for the majority, but it's based on the 8th Amendment, which is protection from cruel and unusual punishment. And this seems like that. And so then, of course, the LGBTQ attorneys say, well, what about, our clients? And, they deserve it too. Well, yes, okay, but they're the ones that are going in to the other. It's a mess. But for Donald Trump to make that decision isn't because he's against trans people. It's situational, again, kind of like sports, kind of like the restroom conversation. It makes sense. The 90, in this case, it's only 85% of the women who are, I say regular, who are straight women, biological women, identifying as biological women, Jesus Christ, people that are having to suffer under the previous laws. And now Donald Trump has come in and said so. So what do you think? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's similar to the bathroom issue, I suppose, on a higher level. And it shows that Donald Trump is serious about kind of implementing laws that have to do with transgender lifestyles. Again, there's no ban on being transgender. There's no ban on getting surgeries. But the bans need to be on taxpayer dollars going to those surgeries, because I'm sure as hell not paying for your shit. And that's the other thing, the last thing I'll say about it is that also halted medical treatment when it comes to gender in these prisons. Before, it was, if somebody said they wanted a sex change, it was like, oh, that's medical care. No, it's not. It'd be like me saying I want lipo, or me saying, don't make jokes, people. Me saying I wanted to go in and get LASIK. You got to pay for it. You got to pay for my LASIK, people. How does that make you feel? Don't sit here and tell me you're okay with it. And I'm sure as hell not okay with having somebody chop his penis off on my dime. Let's move on. This is an interesting one. I initially got upset because I was all fired up about all this stuff that I'm talking about. And I was ready for this woke kind of this mindset, and I was ready to kind of dive into this. And then I started thinking about it once I listened to this woman tell it like she meant it. Context is important. I refuse to be a hypocrite, so I listened to all of it. There's a sex education expert from Australia. Her name is Deanne Carson. And she runs an organization that teaches children about consent. Now, one might ask, including myself, why do children need to learn about consent? Children, I'm talking about children, really young, not 16-year-old children. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old children, even babies that we'll get to. And her comment or her quote that gets everybody riled up and gets these publications clicks, which it worked on me, that she says parents should ask permission from their babies and to change their diapers. Now, on the cusp, you'd say, what the fuck? Which is exactly what I said. Oh, here we go. And not to credit this lovely woman, but you look and she's got bright pink hair and it's very short, and there are book matches its cover type generalizations that I fall into as well. So I apologize for doing that, but it is out there. And of course I'm going, okay, here we go again. I mean, this is way too far. But what her point about this was that the idea is to continue to, if you ask them and you wait for body language, or theory is that they'll grow up kind of learning how to give consent, and that people should ask you for your consent with everything that has to do with your body. I thought about it, and then I said, nope, I'm still not on board with this, because when it comes to parenting, a baby and a young child needs to understand that they don't always have consent about everything out there. They just don't. I mean, they are helpless. They cannot live on their own. When it comes time to change the shit out of their ass in a diaper, I don't need consent. I'm going to change the diaper. If you don't, they will get a rash and it will be bad, or it will smell, or it will all these things. Also, 3 and 4-year-olds, believe it or not, I do have some young childhood education courses under my belt in my undergraduate time. And 3 or 4, 5, maybe back to 4. I think I have a memory at 3, but the experts tell me that that's not possible. What I've studied is that you don't have these types of memories, this long-term memory back from when you were under 4 years old, maybe 3. So what's the point? Do you think it's going to become like muscle memory, and all of a sudden, you know, this child becomes 5 or 6 and like, oh yeah, don't you take my pants off to help me change for school? It's too extreme. It's a little over the top, and it's catchy. I get what she was doing. It's this modern, way to kind of look at things. I think it's going away. I think we're starting to kind of see this as a little bit over the top, but I gave it a shot, people. So give me some credit for listening and hearing this woman out, which is what we should all do. I don't think it's as far-fetched as what it was when I read it. And I'll give her credit for thinking outside the box. However, it is a thumbs down for me. I will change my youngest's diaper when I please. And you know what? In all seriousness, I think every parent should as well. Anyway, just making sure I didn't have anything else on that one. Let's, again, that's the main stuff for tonight, for this evening, whatever the hell time it is. I'm going to do some crazy news, some fun news. I'm fascinated, again, I'll say it, I'm fascinated with humanity. I'm fascinated with stories that aren't the sexy story. All the illegal immigrants going back, the prisons with trans. I mean, all that stuff's exciting to people right now. That's what people are arguing about. That's what people want to hear. It's on all the news channels. You turn it on, that's what it is. So I want to give you some other stories you might not hear, you might not read about. And that was what we initially intended with the show. And then our country got insane, even more so than it already was. And I kind of went off a little bit and derailed from the intent. I enjoy studying humanity to a point with these stories. I mean, it's basically a class I'm taking, I'm giving to myself. When I research and I read about this stuff, I'm continuously baffled by humanity and society and how we operate beyond politics. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's do a little bit of fun news. I just want to play that because I like it. I don't really have any news. Just kidding. This one is weird. It's not really anything other than just informative on, is this real? I mean, or is this anything to think of? There's a trans girl named Emily James, speaking of trans, 27, from Missouri, Kansas City. Side note, I'm really pissed off that the Chiefs won. I think you'll be hearing this before the Super Bowl, obviously, so I am, as much as it pains me, an Eagles fan. I'm tired of the Chiefs. I'm tired of this whole nonsense. I believe they get referee help tremendously. I believe they want Tay-Tay front and center at the Super Bowl because they want Swifties watching all those commercials, and the viewership soars. So that was a side note about Kansas City. Emily is from there. She got $17,000 of body-altering surgery. What she had done was 6 ribs removed from her body so that she could become thinner. Maybe I should look into something like that and get a little bit of the beer gut off. But the hospital gave her the ribs to take home. I guess she wanted a souvenir. I saw a picture. They look like ribs. They look like pork ribs that you would eat barbecue. A little bigger, but it's eerie. And they handed it to her in a jar. And so she immediately told people, I don't know who was doing this interview, that she thought about this long and hard while she was recovering, what to do with her own ribs. And it just seemed like you could utilize that time better than what should I do with my ribs that I elected to have removed from my body because I'm trans and I want to have smaller waist. People, you do you. Okay, I'm not judging, but she wants to make her ribs into dog toys or broth. She said she's going to invite her family over for an Emily barbecue. Okay. I'm on this chicken broth kick bone broth kick, I should say, chicken bone broth. Man, I'm going to have to take a few days off. But her biggest thing is she plans on having an expert, whatever the hell that is, making crowns, like you wear on your head as a king and a queen. She wants to have a crown made out of the bones. I don't know what to say about this. She said, I'm still a loving trans girl. My money, my body, and I'm going to do whatever I want with both. Okay. You do you, Emily. Good luck at the Emily barbecue. There's no story. I just thought I'd tell you what was going on in the mind of somebody. Likewise, here's a Nigerian gospel singer, named Timalayan Ajayi. I think that was perfect Nigerian accent. This man is 30. He was arrested on the January the 12th after carrying a plastic bag with a severed head in it. It was a female head, in case you were wondering. And apparently it was his girlfriend, according to some. So that's not good. And a gospel singer, really? Cut his girlfriend's head off. It said the bag drew the attention of people around him. You think? At least put it in a paper bag and wrap it up. But this is like, I just visualize this plastic bag where people are like, what the fuck's going on over here? Like, is that a mannequin head? Is that what's happening? And I think people started to kind of like realize this was weird, blood or something. And so they like held him and they confined him to one area until the police showed up. The police said the following: the suspect, I don't think he's a suspect anymore. He's probably guilty immediately if he has a severed head on him. But the suspect was found with a fresh human head, they said. He was about to be mobbed by the people around him. Well, no shit. I don't know what took so long. I guess I don't know what people didn't know what to do. Maybe this guy's got a head. Sure enough, the other body parts were found at his house. Oh man, a friend of the victim was 24. She said Ajayi was not girlfriend of this guy. Or Ajayi wasn't the boyfriend of the girl. And she said, even if she was, she didn't deserve to die like this. No, I agree with you. I don't think that's a nice death. I don't know why anybody would chop anybody's head off. I don't know why anybody would kill anybody, but I really don't know why they'd chop a head off. And I really don't know why, if you're going to do that, you would walk out in public with a plastic bag of a severed head. Again, the mindset of humanity is fascinating. All right, let's go on a lighter note. This is fun. And I have pictures of all these because, not that you can't visualize it, but hopefully this helps. These are gender reveals. There was a recent one that just came out, and it was really funny the way it read, because the the title of the article was "Oh shit, oh no," for a gender reveal. And I said, I got to read this. Sure enough, Amy and Brad Hamer were about to have a daughter. Well, they didn't know this until the reveal, but it was going to be pink, whatever the hell they were doing. Let me tell you. They did a dry ice gender explosion inside their house. People, don't do a dry ice explosive inside the home. You know what? If you're going to do it outside the home, but just don't do it. I don't understand. I did, people say, well, you did a gender reveal. I did a golf club that hits a golf ball, and the golf ball goes poof in a little bitty cloud of dust that shows blue or pink, and it was blue for my firstborn son. That is okay. Does anybody really think that is a dangerous gender reveal? I hope not. I mean, maybe the ball could hit, I don't know. But dry ice explosives in the house? Okay, just imagine this. But they said one ignited and it was colorless vapor turned into pink. Everybody started going, oh shit, oh no, get out of the house, get out now, don't breathe. And everybody just beeline towards the front yard. Let's keep going. The next one is a dad to be in Brazil, and he shot off a fireball that somehow had the color, ended up being blue for a boy. And he tried to blow, one of those where the fireball goes out when you blow whatever flammable substance you have that you're blowing. Well, this fireball it ate him up. It engulfed him, right? And you see a picture and the wife's like, oh, what the fuck? Apparently he was only singed because it was a quick thing. But again, people don't light huge fireballs at the house. I don't just do something, throw some confetti, hit a golf ball. Anyway, and the following comment was made by this publication. Not all gender reveal goofs are laughing matters. And I disagree with that because they are laughing matters. If people are going to do this, they deserve to be laughed at. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Anthony Spinelli in New Hampshire got disorderly conduct because he set off 80 pounds of tannerite, which is an explosive compound, and it was mixed with blue chalk. Apparently, the blast that you see was felt miles away in another state, Massachusetts. Now, New Hampshire, I'm assuming this is down in the south, and it's not a huge state, so that's fine. But still, anything felt from an explosion for a gender reveal party probably shouldn't have been done in the first place. So good luck to Anthony Spinelli's son when he's born, because the explosion was blue. Lastly, this is just silliness I don't even actually blame the people having gender reveal. It's a little overkill for sure, but if you have the money, the reason that people are mad about it is just silly. This is a Lithuanian influencer, Inga, of course, Stumbrien, and she and her husband, she's an influencer, so I don't know how popular she is, but she must have some dough. She had a trio of airplanes fly overhead and drop out the smoke of the color of the child. And it was blue. All these except for the first one was blue. I don't know if maybe there's some sort of, if you're going to have a boy, you go insane. I don't know. I have 2 boys. I'm only a little bit insane. But there were trails of blue, and the environmentalists are starting to freak out. They called it, one called it pompous and wasteful. The big argument here is, thanks for killing the planet with your unnecessary gas from the airplane. These are the same people who support the celebrities that all have private jets and all fly all over the world in airplanes of their own, while commercial flights exist all around them. These are also the same people that get on commercial flights, even though they're that bad. The other one was saying that it's burning fuel and the dust that they're dropping isn't good, and it's just overkill. It's overkill for a gender reveal. It may be. I'm not disagreeing with that. It may be overkill, but get off this environmental thing. That one action isn't going to do it, and you say it all adds up. It doesn't. This Earth is going to do just fine. To be so egotistical and arrogant to think that we can really alter this world, it's going to do what it does, and if it kills us, it kills us. But the Earth's fine. The Earth's okay. Man. So, lastly, the thing I wanted to talk about, and I already touched on it, and then we'll wrap up the show. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the news. I hope you enjoy these little tidbits about humanity. I mean, that's what I'm most fascinated with. And like I said, sadly, that's all these other serious issues are happening with this transfer of power in the United States. The world's watching. They are. So all that's going on, it's pretty important. I can't turn a blind eye to it. I'm going to try to do it for the half the show. I'm going to try and do it for a couple shows coming up where we don't talk about politics. Unless something major happens, and then, of course, I have to talk about it. But I just feel like these things that directly affect us, all of the things that led up to the election, and this shift of power and this shift of mindset, in my opinion, it was too important for me to continue to only focus on the funny, only focus on Taylor Swift's appearance at the NFL games. That's what I want to talk about. That's fun for me. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about pop culture. I want to talk about these crazy ass stories about people dying in weird ways. I like fun facts about science. These are great, but it's just too much. It's too much else to turn a blind eye to it. And we'll see. We'll see how the show goes. And please give me your input. Tell me what you like from me. What do you like about the delivery? If you like that this show is talking about current events and issues with a little bit of a twist and hopefully a little bit of humor, let me know. It means a lot to me. It would help me a lot. If you like the crazy news, tell me. Say, do more of that shit. That's what we need. And don't get me wrong, we do need to laugh. That's all we can do. So I think others felt the same as I did, and you saw that in the election. You're seeing the woke stuff go away. You're seeing all the things that I predicted start to turn here. And I think it's going to be a good thing. So anybody that happens to be listening to this who doesn't think it's going to be a good thing, people who claim they're scared, stop it. There's nothing to be scared of. This is going to be a good thing. You need to give it some time. There are people after 4 days, 5 days last week that were saying, hey, eggs are still expensive. Really? First off, fucking eggs. If you think that's the reason we really voted for him, don't be an idiot. Second off, he's been in office. He was in office for 4 days when you said this. It may take just a little longer than 4 fucking days. Give him time. Let him do what he needs to do. And let's hope. Anybody that hopes for the failure of the country is an asshole. Regardless. Wouldn't you like to be able to say, man, I hate Donald Trump, but thank goodness the country's turning the right direction. And I feel like a lot of people would rather the country fail and us go into some sort of deep, dark hole and say, yep, I knew it. I knew that Trump guy was going to get us into a deep, dark hole. And that sucks if there are people out there that are like that. I didn't say that as much as I knew Joe Biden was going to be terrible. I didn't say it. I said, I hope he's not terrible. I was wrong. Mostly, but really think about it and try and get behind the president, no matter who it is, and hope for the success of all of us. And on that note, I'll do in quote of the night, and we'll move on. Again, thanks for listening, and like and subscribe and help me out. Push this thing as much as you can. I love it, and I hope I'm reaching some of you. Some of you will listen and surely go, maybe I need to get away from politics, or I need to get away from whatever. If you do move away from, let me know. Let me know. Say I'm taking off because I need something different, and I would respect that 100%. Anyway, but don't do that. Stay and listen. Like and subscribe. Comment. Tell people how amazing it is. I've got some pens and some T-shirts that I just found kind of tucked away. You know what? Tell me you want a T-shirt. I'll send you a T-shirt. But anyway, the quote of the night, it's turning evening time. It's simple. The real workout begins when you want to stop. So deep. It could be a literal workout or just your day-to-day life. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and I love you.
Find the colors, find the light. In the gray, we'll find our sight. Brutal banner.